Hey everyone, today we're diving into Kaspa's recent surge and what it could mean for the crypto market. Let's get into it. Kaspa just ripped 40% in a week while most of the crypto market is still licking its wounds. Whales are vacuuming up millions of tokens off Kraken. The order books look skeletal. And, one analyst just spotted a pattern that hasn't appeared in over a year. A falling wedge breakout against Bitcoin that could signal the end of KAS's longest bear market. But here's what nobody's talking about. The supply shock happening right now might make this rally look tiny compared to what's coming. Stick around because the data we're about to show you explains why even small buy orders are sending this thing vertical. What's up, crypto fam? Welcome back to the channel. If you've been sleeping on Kaspa, today's video is your wake-up call. We're breaking down the supply dynamics, the whale activity, and the technical setup that has serious traders paying attention. Before we dive in, smash that like button and subscribe if you want more no BS crypto analysis. Trust me, you don't want to miss what's brewing here. Kaspa is finally giving its community something to celebrate. After months of brutal downside, bleeding through the November crashes and grinding lower while Bitcoin stole all the spotlight, KAS is now trading around 6 cents. That's a 40% explosion in less than a week, making it one of the top performers in the entire market right now. For a project that's eaten nothing but pain for the better part of a year, this move stands out. But the question everyone's asking is simple. Is this just another relief bounce before the next leg down, or is something bigger happening under the hood? According to multiple analysts and on-chain watchers, the answer might surprise you. This isn't your typical hype pump. The structure behind this move looks different and the supply dynamics are setting up for something potentially explosive. According to Kaspa report, the holder of Kaspa's largest address has created what they're calling a supply shock. So, this whale has been accumulating relentlessly, and honestly, the pace is just completely unsustainable given how demand from other market participants keeps rising. Kaspa's emission schedule is rapid, the supply is totally inelastic, and the token is gaining some serious traction as both a store of value and a medium of exchange. Translation: we're heading into a liquidity crisis where, buyers might soon be fighting over scraps. And then, there's Kaspa Daily dropping another bombshell. Wallet number 7 just moved another 15 million KAS off Kraken as the price started rebounding. 15 million tokens. That's not retail. That's a whale loading the boat while everyone else is still trying to figure out if this rally is real. When smart money accumulates during fear, that's usually a signal the bottom is in. Now, here's where it gets technical. Analyst Crypto Bull, God thinks this could be way more than just a random bounce. He just highlighted that KAS is attempting to break out of a falling wedge against Bitcoin, and according to him, the setup carries like massive potential upside. For anyone who knows chart patterns, a falling wedge breakout is honestly one of the most reliable bullish reversal signals in technical analysis. The question is, will it hold? The chart Crypto Bull God shared is a 2-week KAS to BTC timeframe, which really smooths out all the noise and focuses on the big picture. For most of 2024 and into 2025, Kaspa has been trapped inside a downward sloping channel, each high lower than the last, each low weaker than before. This is like textbook underperformance against Bitcoin, and honestly, it's been brutal to watch. So, there are two key trend lines that form this wedge. The upper line has acted as dynamic resistance, basically capping every rally attempt for over a year. Meanwhile, the lower line has caught every major sell-off, creating this converging structure that's been squeezing the price tighter and tighter. At the bottom of this range, you'll find a strong horizontal support zone right around 0.050954 on the KAS to BTC scale. That's actually where the current move started. The latest 2-week candle is the one that really matters here. It's got a long body to the upside and is now pressing right into, and actually just a bit through, that upper wedge trend line. This is exactly the kind of price action traders are on the lookout for when they're hunting for falling wedge breakouts. If this candle closes above the line, and the next one manages to hold that breakout, then the entire market structure shifts. We'd move from persistent lower highs to something that finally looks like a trend reversal. Crypto Bull God also marks horizontal resistance above at 0.072369. That's the next major level on the KAS to BTC pair. A clean move through that zone would confirm Kaspa isn't just escaping the wedge, it's starting a new phase of outperformance against Bitcoin. And from there, the chart suggests, there's plenty of room to run toward the upper region of the larger range, where prior peaks sat much higher. Then KAS suddenly exploded higher while most of the market was still nervous. That combination, washed-out sentiment plus strong relative strength can be incredibly powerful. It's the setup that separates temporary relief bounces from the start of real trends. But, let's be honest, there are still risks here. This is a higher time frame chart, so one spike through resistance isn't enough confirmation. If KAS fails to hold above the wedge and slips back inside, the pattern could turn into a fakeout. Price might revisit that green support area and all the excitement would evaporate. Bitcoin's own volatility also matters. If BTC has another sharp leg down, Kaspa could struggle to maintain outperformance in the short term. That said, the picture looks better than it has in a long time. Kaspa has defended a key support level, it's printed a strong bounce, and it's now attacking a trend line that's capped it for over a year. If crypto bull gods analysis plays out and the breakout sticks, this week's 40% pump could be just the opening act of a much longer period where KAS stops merely surviving and starts leading again. Now let's talk about what's happening under the surface, because this is where things get really interesting. KAS Lens has been tracking the Kaspa ecosystem for a long time, breaking down on-chain patterns and market behavior. His latest take cuts through all the hype. He pointed out that this surge doesn't resemble a typical retail-driven pump. The real story sits inside the order book, especially on Gate, the exchange with the highest KAS volume. Gate's chart shows that even after a 50% move, spot activity remains surprisingly moderate. He pointed out that this surge doesn't resemble a typical retail-driven pump. The real story sits inside the order book, especially on Gate, the exchange with the highest KAS volume. Gate's chart shows that even after a 50% move, spot activity remains surprisingly moderate. That single detail reveals a deeper force shaping price. The sell-side liquidity looks unusually thin. Thin liquidity creates a fragile surface where, small buy orders can consume the entire ask side and lift price sharply within seconds. The ask walls appear tiny. Resting volume barely holds. Entire levels vanish the moment strong market buys hit them. KAS Lens noted that large wallets have been accumulating for months. This steady accumulation quietly reduces the circulating float, and that float reduction shapes price more than most people realize. A metric tracking supply untouched for over 2 years shows a significant amount of KAS sitting completely unmoved. These holders aren't rushing to sell, their conviction stabilizes one side of the market, and as fewer tokens return to exchanges, thin liquidity becomes even thinner. This explains why the KAS token reacts so quickly to buy pressure. It takes only moderate demand to push price several steps higher. KAS Lens even stressed that a market order of just 100,000 can climb through multiple price levels without meeting strong resistance. That's not normal. That's a supply squeeze market waiting to explode. Kaspa is now appearing across multiple platforms. Listings on CoinMarketCap, CoinGecko, and various algorithmic feeds are drawing fresh eyes. More attention naturally brings new activity. When KAS starts trending on people's dashboards, a wave of newcomers enters with urgency. This creates fast bursts of liquidity and can lead to short pullbacks once they exit. But the overall environment still depends on how much supply long-term holders are willing to release. Since many of them haven't moved their coins in years, the market continues to face weak sell-side pressure. KAS Lens also mentioned that this dynamic swings both ways. Thin liquidity creates fast rallies, but it can also create fast drops if a large seller appears. Right now, though, the environment leans toward buying interest, long-term holding, and modest supply release. That combination explains why this move looks stronger than the volume behind it suggests. So, where does that leave us? Kaspa is breaking out technically. Whales are accumulating aggressively, the order books are thin, and the supply shock everyone's been warning about might finally be here. Whether this turns into a sustained trend or a fakeout depends on the next few candles, but the setup is undeniably bullish. If you found this breakdown valuable, make sure you check out our other crypto analysis videos in the description below. Drop a comment and let me know, are you bullish on Kaspa, or do you think this is just another bull trap? Hit that subscribe button and I'll catch you in the next one. And as always, remember, this is not financial advice. Cryptocurrency is extremely volatile and risky. Never invest more than you can afford to lose. Do your own research, manage your risk, and stay safe out there.